Welcome, welcome, welcome to On Friday Inspire. I am your host, Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. I want to thank you and welcome you for joining us here. Hi, everybody in Facebook land, YouTube land, and LinkedIn land. Y'all tell us where you're coming in from. Hey, Keela, uh, over in Facebook land. Um, Tell us where you're actually tuning in from. And also hit that share button because I'm gonna thank our sponsors and then we're gonna get started. Hi, Miss Thomasina. So everybody, hit that share button. Let's do this. Let's because when I tell you this woman is such an inspiration, you all need a taste of just a teaspoon of what she got. Okay. Hey, Miss Linda D. All right. So I want to thank our sponsors. Thank you, thank you, thank you to mombizboss.org. If you are an entrepreneur, you are a woman who either is currently an entrepreneur or looking to be an entrepreneur, you want to join this group of ladies, mombizboss.org. And I tell you, awesome networking, awesome opportunity for mentoring and collaboration. So if you are looking for that, that's mombizboss.org. Now, if you're a leader of any type and you don't have a couple of tools that you need in your arsenal, I want you to get the book called Leadership Inside Trajectory. My big brother and apostle, Ricky DeSarette, has this book entitled Leadership Inside Trajectory, and you can get your book at iworkfaith.com. Again, that's iworkfaith.com. Now, we get a lot of our accessories from uebdesigns.com, and that's UEB Designs. And y'all know how we rock our little stuff, our queen earrings and all our beautiful accessories. And people are still talking about that purse that I had at your Herology experience, Celinda D. So everybody's talking about that. Y'all can go to uebdesigns.com and get yours today. And then finally, if you don't have a copy of my book, my affirmational book, journal, coloring, affirmational coloring book, or On Fire to Inspire book, and I even have a children's book, y'all. So y'all can go out and take a look at those things at www.onfiretoinspire.com. That's easy to remember, right? Because that's the name of the show. But we're going to hop right on into the topic, y'all. I'm excited about the topic. Giving up is not an option. That's something I say regularly. Giving up is not in your vocabulary. So giving up, quitting, go ahead and eliminate that from your vocabulary because that's not your portion. But we're going to bring on Miss Candice Renee. We call her Candice Renee on Facebook, but she's Miss Candice Mack. Welcome to On Fire to Inspire. How are you?
Welcome. I am all right. I'm all right. It's been a time. But I am all right. I am all right. It's been a time getting this together just now, but I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm
Okay,
all right.
okay. But you know
I'm
what?
all right.
That when you have things like that happen, it's just an example. It's the confirmation that it's going to be an awesome interview and you're going to be a blessing to someone. So when I have
Absolutely.
technical difficulties or anything that's coming like that, I'm like, okay, God, you're going to show out. So,
Listen.
so don't
But
even
I had
get
to stop just
distressed.
now and say a quick prayer just now. Like, okay, all right, God. I see you. All right. But it's okay. It's all right. It's all
That's
right.
right. That's right. All right. Miss Keela says, I love my girl.
Oh yeah.
Y'all,
Hey
thank y'all
Keela.
so much for watching over in Facebook land, over in YouTube land, as well as over in Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Sorry. All right. So I want you to introduce yourself. You came on with the group for Girl Talk, but introduce yourself as who are you? Who is Candice Mack? Who is Candice Renee?
Okay. So I am Candice Mack. Um, as most people know me on Facebook as Candy Renee, as you said. I am from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Basically born and raised in Orangeburg. Let's see. I am the mother of two beautiful girls. My oldest actually passed away last year, November, November 21. And my youngest is 12. Her name is Carmen. She is amazing, totally amazing. And I'm not just saying that because she's my child. Um, but she's amazing. I am a yoga instructor and meditation practitioner. I've been practicing yoga for 5 years, teaching for three. I am an instructor. I do personal sessions for, I focus mainly personally on Black women because I am a Black woman. Some of the things that I've been through have, it basically took me somewhere that I can't really explain. And I started yoga basically after my diagnosis of breast cancer, which I kind of get to that too. I started yoga then, basically to find a peace of mind, to get my body back in check, and it took me on a different place. So I started teaching basically to help people find peace. And as I said, I'm an instructor personally, and I also instruct down in Charleston, South Carolina at Thrive Wellness and Yoga Studio. So we opened the studio back in July. So that's been a very good experience, I must say. Let's see, what else about Candace? Okay, so and I am very, very, and I'm just trying to be open and honest in this interview. I want to be transparent. Like I am very nervous for some reason.
Why?
Very nervous. I honestly don't really know. And then like the little task at hand that came before this was just like having a little out of sorts. But I'm gonna use my yoga practicing and my breathing to get myself together. Advertisement. Okay, but so I am also a cancer survivor. Um, I have been through cancer. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2011 at the age of 26. My first diagnosis of breast cancer um, was, like I said, at the age of 26, and I went through chemotherapy. I went through surgeries, 13 different surgeries. Um, let's see, radiation, everything that you can name, I probably went through when it came to chemotherapy. So, yeah, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. So
If
it's
you
so much I
notice,
can say about Candy, but I'll let you ask some questions so I can kind of cover it all.
okay. So if you notice in all of the advertisement and the marketing, I said that you are a five-time cancer, not just survivor, but thriver. Because when we look at it as a place of I survived, well, yeah, but you thriving through it because you're helping other people, you
Right.
know. So yes, ma'am, it's no victims over here because
That's right.
we're so,
That's right.
so excited for you. Now you said you had your first diagnosis. Uh, let me back up. Let me back up. The topic is giving up is not an option. So giving up is not an option. What does the topic itself mean to you?
Okay, giving up is not an option. So it can mean so many things. Like I said, like the past year has took me through a lot. So basically giving up is not an option. It's just what it says. Like there's no way possible that I could have given up. Because when you think about it, going through, that's exactly what you're doing. You're going through to get to something. So when you give up, you're stopping. You can't go through if you give up. So you're not getting where you're going. And so you have options of every day of choosing whether you're going to be happy, whether you're going to be sad. That's an option, whether we know it or not. And so you have the option of wanting to feel good, to be good. So in giving up, that's not an option. That can't be an option if you want to be well, if you want to, get where you're going, as I said. So to me, it's just what it says. That's not even in the category of what I must do when we're going through something because I'm going through to get to something greater than what is.
I love it. I love it. You're going through to get to, and you can't get there if you give up. I love it.
That's right.
Absolutely love it.
That's right.
So you said you had your first diagnosis at age 26.
Hmm.
And what about your second diagnosis? How old were you then?
I was 27.
27?
Yes. Yes. So that
Wow.
my second diagnosis came right after my first one. It was not far, and it was ovarian. And so when I went to my OBGYN, I went because when you go through breast cancer, they will tell you different medications may cause you to develop different types of cancer. And ovarian cancer is one of the ones. And so um, not saying that this was the cause of it, but when I started having problems, I knew that it was something that I had to check out. And so going to my OBGYN, I trusted him a whole lot. And it's very important to have doctors that you trust. He delivered both my children. And so I really, really trusted him. And so going in, it was a question of, what was the problem? And so the problem wasn't seen until after they were taken out, that they were basically covered with cancer. And so that was the ovarian cancer stage. And so there was no chemotherapy or anything like that. There was just the cancer that was there, but it was removed. And so that was just a simple blessing. That was a
Yes.
blessing.
Yes. And thank God it was detected early enough to be able to just do that. All right.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that was diagnosis number two. How old were you with diagnosis number three?
Let's see, 29, beginning 29. And this was basically breast cancer came back behind my implant. And so basically they had to remove the implant, remove the breast cancer, and again, I was all right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now, so you have beat it three times at this point.
Hmm.
What's our number four?
Lymphoma. So lymphoma is basically a cancer of the lymphatic system. And your lymphatic system is responsible for your immune system and drawing out infections and things of that sort. And it wasn't a normal, I wouldn't say a normal diagnosis, because there were symptoms that I should have had that I didn't have.
Okay.
And this happened twice, which was the fourth and the fifth diagnosis, of just it being present. And so through this whole process, I was still going through chemotherapy for about 3 years, because of the state of my first breast cancer diagnosis, it being HER2 positive. And so HER2 positive is really aggressive, moves really, really fast, develops really, really fast. And so they put you on medication for 5 years. So I was on a chemo pill called tamoxifen at the time. And so you take that 5 years after your chemotherapy is done. So it's basically another chemo pill. So all of these things, and I must say it was God. It was God, because I didn't go through the things that other people go through during these diagnoses. And this whole time I was basically helping other people who were going through. So I can be honest and transparent and say that, not that I didn't take it serious, it's just that I had a whole different mission when it came to my diagnosis.
Mm, I love that. You had a different mission. And
Yeah.
about how old? Somebody said, "My gosh, you're a walking testimony." How old? How old are you around that time frame of the lymphoma?
That was 29, 30.
Wow. So right behind the breast cancer.
Yeah, everything was right
Boom,
behind.
boom, boom.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Maxine said, "Thank God for favor." I'm telling you. All right. So the last one you had, what was that one?
That was the lymphoma. And that was the first and second diagnosis of it just being there. And so you know how those miracles happen. it was
Yes,
just
ma'am. Come on,
not
talk about
there.
it.
It was not there. And
It
so
was just not there.
that takes off, that's a whole nother story.
Miraculous. That's the miraculous right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Absolutely.
How did you talked about going to yoga. At what point did you turn to yoga to kind of help you relax, de-stress? What made you even go to yoga?
It started off, I developed lymphedema in my left arm. So when you go through breast cancer, they remove lymph nodes from under your arm, and this causes lymphedema, which is swelling of the arm. And so I started developing the swelling, and so I went to a doctor, and he was showing me some basic exercises that I could do to basically stop the lymph from, developing and to bring the swelling down. And so I just looked at him like, so I just paid all this money to for you to show me that. So I was like, it didn't sit well with my spirit. so I decided to find something else to kind of, I was like, because I can move my arm around, that's no problem if that's what I need to do. So I wanted to find something else that would actually help more besides just my arm. And so I had a friend, well, another survivor sister who was going through her chemotherapy, and she gave me a card and she was doing yoga. And so I looked it up, and it was just like, I'm not sure. So I talked to my doctor, and he was like, no, I don't suggest that you do yoga because of your arm. I don't think you're going to have the strength in your arm, or, you know, all the negative stuff. Right. And so if you know me, and I know it's a lot of people who know me, if you tell me one thing, I'm going to go and do the other. So once he told me that, I asked, like around Orangeburg, I asked, did anybody teach yoga? Nobody replied. Nobody really said anything. So I took it upon myself to look it up, learn it myself. I took a couple classes just to basically learn, for myself. And it took me somewhere totally different. It took me totally, like, I can't, well, so when you're doing yoga, you're spending time with yourself. And so you have time to listen. You have time to listen and pay attention, and you learn a lot about yourself, where your mind is, what you're thinking about, and when you think about negative things, negative stuff come all over you. So energy. And so I started getting to the point where it's like I want to do yoga. Like I want to sit on my mat and breathe. Like I want to stretch. My body started feeling better. My mind was feeling, free. I could stop in the middle of something and just breathe and notice myself feeling better. And that's when I was like, you know what? I want to teach this because nobody's teaching around here that I know of. And so why can't I teach other people what I know? Because if this is bringing me this much peace, I don't have the money to give out to people. I don't have the time to, go out and give the world my time. But if I can teach this that's helping me, why can I teach somebody else how to feel this peace or this freedom by simply taking time for yourself? And that's how I became a yoga instructor.
Wow, 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 wow. So, um, how did you even shift into the teaching mode? Because nobody around there was doing it. How did you even shift into teaching?
I honestly I don't even remember. Um I don't even remember now that you asked me that. I know I started offering like free classes to the community. Like I would say, like, just meet me in the gardens. We have like the Edison Memorial Gardens here, and it has a fountain. And most people take it for granted in Orangeburg, I think, because it's a beautiful spot. And so I started teaching basic like classes. And so while I'm learning, I know like a lot of people didn't really know. So if I messed up, they didn't really know. But after I started seeing like the expressions on people's faces when they finish, like, cool, like I feel so good. It's like, oh yeah,
All right, Candace. Look like we froze. Can y'all hear her? Someone type in the chat if y'all can still hear her, because on my side she's frozen. Okay. All right. Let me let her know she's frozen. Wanted to make sure on my side because we are experiencing some storms over here. Okay. So Candace, look, okay, so she's coming out to go back on. We cancel the attack of the enemy with this technology Because y'all, she is a walking she is a walking testimony. If you heard her, she said she had gotten diagnosed 5 times, but God miraculously healed her that fifth time. She didn't have to go through chemo. She didn't have to go through surgeries. There was a miraculous healing for her on that fifth diagnosis. Um, so she'll be back shortly. She said that she lost her 15-year-old to cancer back in November. So when I met her at the Herology experience, this was her first time actually going out in a formal, actually going out like that since the event. And when I tell y'all her story inspired so many women in the room. I mean, she was like people were in tears, people were in awe. And you think you have an issue, but when you hear this walking testimony right here talking about I was diagnosed 5 times. I've lost my child. And, to hear those kind of things, you're like, and what am I complaining about? What's my excuse? God, I give you glory, you know? And so I tell y'all, when I met her, I was like, girl, I got to interview you one day. And we're going to interview soon. And she was like, okay. And so we made it happen. And I give God praise because, again, um, her perseverance, her attitude, everything about her is so encouraging. And so, for someone, if you know someone who's been diagnosed, whether they're newly diagnosed or if they're going through it, have them follow her, have them look her up on Facebook. She is Candy Renee, Candy, Candy Renee, and she's always talking about motivational stuff. She's talking about yes, Maxine, she is a great inspiration. So Linda D calls her shero because you think about it, the average person that has not endured half of what she's been through, but she's doing it and she is doing it. That's why I didn't put her down as a 5-time cancer survivor. No, I put her down as a 5-time cancer thriver because she's thriving through it and she's helping others get through it as well and help them get on the other side of it. And so I'm elated. And we again canceled the assignment of the enemy with her technology so she can come on back on and be a blessing. In fact, let me try a plan B. Give me 1 second, y'all. We're going to get her back on here because this is not going to be to stifle her. Yes. Let's see here. We're going to get her one way or the other. So if we can't get her but a picture, guess what? We're going to call her up. Give us just a moment. Because one thing, if y'all know anything about me, yes, co-pastor, Pastor Bernard says that she is a thriver. Absolutely. And it's all in how you're looking at things. Are you looking at the cup as half empty or half full? Well, I choose to look at it as half full. I choose to walk in joy and walk in peace, right? It's a choice. Are you going to be happy? It's a choice. It's a choice. And so she's choosing joy, she's choosing peace, and she's choosing to be happy. All right, let's see here. And again, I know we got storms going on in my part of South Carolina. I don't know about in the part that she's in, if that's the case for her. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to get her back. It's going to happen. Believe that. Let's see here. I don't see her reconnecting quite yet, but I am going to call her. We'll get her up in a second. All right. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. So y'all, she is Candy Renee on Facebook. Now, as far as her her yoga, Maxine or Khadijah, and Celinda probably knows as well. What's the name of her yoga uh, class or studio? Her yoga business. What's the name of that? When I tell y'all this girl has a story, um, she has not even touched the surface of it, y'all. When I tell you, That's why I'm like, oh my goodness, we got to get her back. Okay, here we go. Lynn, do you know the name of her yoga class? Hold on, y'all. Hey, Candace. All right. So one thing about me, I don't allow anything. Thrive in Charleston. Okay. The name of the place that you work at is Thrive in Charleston. Huh? Uh-oh. Hold on. Thrive Well. Thrive Wellness. Okay. Can y'all hear her? She said Thrive Wellness is the name of her class. All right. Now, Candy, even if you can't get back on, we're gonna have your voice. They're gonna hear the rest of this testimony. Oh wow. Like I said, we coming with our plan B because they're gonna hear your testimony. Right. Exactly. Did y'all hear her? She said, so the topic is giving up is not an option. Therefore, we got to move forward. So, hey, by any means necessary. So we hear your voice and we're moving forward. Now, you told us about the miraculous survival, the miraculous removal the fifth time. Now, let's just flow and go with where you're led. You're feeling led to tell us now, because I told them they've not even scratched the surface of your testimony. Uh huh. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Hmm. Wow. Mhm.
So it was very, very, very. He got lonely at the hospital. So that was a trial within itself. And
Mhm.
yoga actually helped me through that as well because I did yoga in the hospital while she was there, like by her bedside. Did my
Mhm.
deep breathing and meditation every day, and even got some of the nurses to actually be interested in some of the breathing and things that I was doing as well. So
Okay.
she, we went through the whole cycle, and October came, and my oldest daughter, she she is well, she was a sweet spirit, I must say. She was always so humble, and she didn't complain at all. While me and her sister were in the hospital, she never complained at all. So when October came, one day she called. It was October 16th, and she called me and told me that her chest was hurting really, really bad. And she had had chest pains before, and we went to the doctors, and they did X-rays, and they just had done an X-ray of her chest area October 5th. So October 16th, as I said, she called and she said that her chest was hurting really bad. So I had her dad to bring her to the ER. And at this time, Nikita was still in the hospital. And she was still going through her chemotherapy. So he called and told me that they were there and they were about to do an x-ray again on her chest. And so Nikita was about to have a procedure done as well. And so I had to basically run from the ER back to the fifth floor of the hospital between the two, in between procedures, as they did the x-ray on Kiana. I had to run back upstairs, do the procedure with Casey, and then run back downstairs to get the results from Kiana. So the results ended up, she had a mass in her right lung. And so they ended up doing a biopsy on that Monday, 2 days later, and it came back that it was cancer. So it was sarcoma. And it was sarcoma basically in the tissues of her lung. And the mass had grown like really, really, really fast. Um, and so from October 26th to November 12th, on November 12th, she ended up passing away. And the tumor had grown basically, and it started pressing against her heart. So it basically stopped her heart beating to the point where it stopped her from breathing. And so at this time, Casey was out of the hospital. Um, but she ended up having to come back in January after all of this, after losing my baby. And what I can say is that, and I'm kind of glad we're not on video right now.
Yeah.
Um, what I can say is that um, Carmen gave me strength.
Mm.
Her going through what she was going through at the time. Um, I know people can say, losing a child is like, the hardest, one of the hardest things that you can go through. And I agree. I totally agree. There's not words that can express how I feel about losing my child. Excuse
Mhm.
me. So, with me going through what she was going through, she gave me strength to basically keep going. Because she went through the same thing I did as far as, losing her sister. She lost her best friend. And she still was, smiling and going. So in those moments, I could have complained. I could have given up. But I had another daughter who was watching and seeing everything that was going on. But she still chose to push forward. So it was a time where she saw me going through my trials and tribulations. And she saw me push forward. So she ended up doing the same exact thing. And so she helped me push through that whole process of
Mm.
losing Kiana. And so right now, on a lighter note, Carmen is thriving. you say I'm thriving, I always think about her because not only is she pushing forward, but she's doing things that I never expected. Carmen had she started that school. She's in the seventh grade. She started that school, and she was really, really nervous. And I promise you, I was stressed out. Like I had to practice all of my yoga, meditation, breathing, everything. Going back to school. She was really, really nervous, but she ended up having the greatest 2 weeks of school ever. So I'm very grateful for that. And again, she could have given up and said that she didn't want to go back to school, but she didn't. She
Right.
pushed forward. She is also she made the cheerleading team.
Yes.
So she is actually a cheerleader now, and she's following her sister's footsteps, and I am so grateful. Like so grateful for it all. I'm, I'm grateful for the hard times because it helps me appreciate the greatness that still is.
How
And
old is Carmen?
I know for a fact that my baby, a lot of people come and they say, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. But the thing about it is, I don't know either, honestly, on some days. But if we believe in God, we talk about believing in God all the time. We talk about how good God is and what He does, and that He doesn't make any mistakes. We say it all the time, but do you really believe that? And if you do believe it, when things of this nature happen, as we go through things or we lose people or we don't have the things that we think we should or we're just in a bad place. If you actually believe in God and believe what He does, why are we so worried?
Wow.
Why are we in tears over the things that we know are not mistakes? But in the end of the day, we have to understand that we don't have control over those types of things. You don't have control. So you have to recognize what you have control over. And if you believe in God like you say you do, then you have to give it to Him and let Him handle those things. And understand that we are given all of the wisdom, we are given knowledge, and we are given truth. But when you are given these things, you have to accept them for what they are. So I know for a fact that on some of the things that I've been through, they are not in vain at all. The stories that I tell are not for me, they're for other people. So I don't have to go out and say that God is good. If you hear my story or if you get to know me, I am a physical testimony that God is good, that He can carry you through things that you don't think that you can make it through. And if you look on your life and you look at the things that you've been through, you look at your hard times, think about it right now. If you look at your hard times, you're looking back at your hard times because right now, guess what? You made it through that hard time. So you're able to look back on that hard time. So at the end of the day, again, if you believe in God and you believe that there are no mistakes and you believe that He will comfort your soul, then why are we worried? Why are we sad? Or why are we wallowing in our sorrow when we know that fear is not of God? So it's a choice of whether I wanted to stay in my sorrow or keep going. Giving up, seriously, was not one of my options. But because we know the things that bring us joy. We know the goodness of things. And but there are things out there that we don't know how it's gonna make us feel. But we've been through situations that have been bad and we've been down and depressed. But do you want to feel that way? So you don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel that way.
Right.
So what I do is I choose to be a better person. I choose to fill my heart with love. And I practice it on a daily basis so that I can make it through when bad times come.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So our little cheerleader Carmen, how old is she now?
She's 12.
All right now.
She's 12.
Wow. So she is 12. Um, Minister Cunningham said, say it with your salvation, sister. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Maria says, we thank you for your strength and your positivity. The strength you and KC have is unmatched, and we know God has purpose on your life. Continue to be strong. Oh, that's sweet, Maria. That is so
Absolutely.
sweet.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you, Maria.
and I know, Carmen going to school, going back to school, and this is her first time back as an amputee, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And she made the cheerleader squad. Y'all, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Determination. Look at the resilience of this baby.
Yes, she did. She did.
Yes. Wow. Now, does she have prosthetics yet?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, she got her prosthetic in February.
Okay. Yes. That is what I'm talking about. So, how often do you teach your yoga class? And, what's on the horizon? I feel a book in the spirit.
So I've been trying to get this book together. I think I got about 7 books I need to write.
Okay.
It's a whole lot I need to write. But right now, I'm basically just kind of focusing on trying to help people get some peace. Like I sat back and I saw, while I was going through, I sat back and I saw so many people hurting and not even really realizing it. And so I'm just basically focusing on my yoga career, um, to help people find some peace, to breathe, and to breathe to appreciate life, not
Mhm.
just breathe to live.
Right. Wow. Breathe to appreciate life and not just breathe to live. Girl, that's a whole sermon by itself. I love that. Did y'all hear what she just said? Breathe to appreciate life and not just breathe to live. Girl, I'm typing that
Yes,
for you.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Woo, y'all. That she done said a whole. You done blessed my socks off with that one statement. Let's see here. She says that Maria said that Carmen gets it from her mother. And if you haven't done yoga with her, please do. She's the absolute best. She's patient, and her energy is everything. I believe that. Minister Cunningham says, like mother, like daughter. Hashtag Black Girl Magic. Hashtag Black Girl Excellence. Absolutely.
I
Well
love it.
said.
I
Well
love it.
said. So Linda D said, yes, waiting on the book. And then she put the fire emoji. Absolutely. So how can we, do you do online classes? I'm in a different part of South Carolina, but hey girl, this sounds like some good class.
Yes, I actually do. So my personal yoga business is called Yep She Does Yoga.
Yep, she does
And
yoga.
Yep She Does Yoga, and it's all one word. It's like hashtag Yep She Does Yoga.
Okay.
And so it's on Facebook,
Mhm.
and so I do personal sessions, virtual. I do group sessions. I do travel, and I do different things such as ladies groups, women's groups, girls empowerment. I do sisters, best friends, yoga sessions. Basically, those are say if you have a group of best friends or just a group of friends who you want to continue bonding with.
Mhm.
We do things such as deep breathing, connections, just basically just a bonding type of situation. And then I do what we call sexy lady yoga, and it's basically to bring confidence out of you. A lot of us who have been through things, especially say like breast cancer or anything that has affected you physically, you don't see yourself the same. And so sexy lady yoga is basically to kind of bring your confidence back. I also do mommy and me sessions from kids, boys and girls, from ages 2 to 18. This is another bonding situation that I do. And let's see, I also do meditation. So I do virtual and I do in person. So whatever's best for you, that's what I do.
Okay. I'm loving it. So what content info do I need to put on here for them to follow you and be able to go?
Okay. So my business page is again, yep, she does yoga, LLC. My personal page is Candy Renee. And so all of those both of those pages have my information. If you need to email me, my number is on my Yep She Does Yoga page. Um, let's see. My email, if you need my email, is CandiceMatt11 at gmail.com.
Say that one more time.
CandiceMatt11 at gmail.com. And so they can reach me through any of those things.
Okay. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any final words that you want to leave with the listeners, whether they're someone who knows family members or has family members that's been diagnosed, newly diagnosed people, whatever you want to say, what would be your final words of inspiration to the listeners?
If you are a survivor, I'll start with this. If you are someone who has been through cancer, keep going, keep going. Just stay positive, surround yourself with good people. Um, just stay positive, find you some support. Know your body, understand yourself, believe in yourself, and trust your gut instinct, especially when it comes to your doctors, your treatment, medications, things of that sort. Just keep going, keep going. To those of you who know of someone going through, and it may not just be cancer, it could be anything. Just someone, anybody who's going through, if you know someone, just be supportive. Be supportive. And if you don't have anything nice to say, it could don't say anything at all. Be understanding. And I can say, I'll leave with my favorite quote that I always like to tell everyone. Um, Never think that your rough times are the end of the road. They are merely detours on your road to greatness. So those are my final words, and I just wish everybody greatness, this greatness, just keep going. No matter what you're going through, keep going.
I love that. I want you to repeat that last statement again for me, though, and make sure I got it.
Okay. Never think that your rough times are the end of the road. They are merely detours on your road to greatness.
On your road to greatness.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad I had you repeat that. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We truly, truly, truly appreciate you. We appreciate your perseverance, your resilience, and everything that you're doing and pushing other people past seeing it in the present, and you know helping them
Yes.
get on the other side of through, so to speak. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much. We appreciate you, and we're looking to hear back from you from the great works that you are working on and the things that are to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You are so welcome. You have a great night now.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, y'all, if y'all missed any of her interview tonight, you want to make sure that you tune in and listen. Go back to listen to her recording. You can go back and listen here on Facebook, or you can go to Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife, over on YouTube. We actually have it going at the same time, streaming over there as well. And do me a favor, go over there and subscribe, like, and comment what stood out to you on her interview tonight. Go over to our YouTube, and again, that is Leah, the Purpose Midwife, and tell us what stood out to you with her interview tonight. Because when I tell you she is a walking testimony and a walking miracle, if you thought you had something going on, guess what? She told you that giving up was not an option. So whatever you got going on, she said, have faith, trust, and know that God has already worked it out. You just got to continue. And I love her final statement. Let me see if I can pull that back up. She said, never think that your rough times are the end of the road. There are merely to detours to your road of greatness, to greatness. So I am Aaliyah, your purpose midwife. I look forward to hearing from you on YouTube. Go over there to Aaliyah, the purpose midwife, and post a comment for us. Subscribe, like, and post a comment, because when I tell you, she has been, oh my goodness, a blessing. And we were not going to allow the technology issues to steal anything. So y'all have a blessed one. We'll see y'all back same time, same place next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Blessings.